we are going to talk about the 3 secrets to real estate success. And these are 3 things that I have discovered just along the way of my own journey. And the 3 big secrets to be successful as an agent in real estate. And we're going to cover the 3 things about being sustainable in today's market, because, and if you guys were here before, you heard me talk about the COVID fake news. You know, there's myths and exaggerations, and it differs between the news source that you get it, whether it's this news broadcasting company or this news broadcasting company. And, you know, they'll say, get the vaccine. No, don't get the vaccine. Wear a mask. Don't wear a mask. Masks deplete oxygen. But masks are fine because the doctors can still do surgery. And so there is fake news about COVID. And guess what? There's fake drama news about COVID as well as real estate. And this, you know, whether it's COVID or whether it's tobacco or whether it's eggs or whether it's butter or whether it's this or that, there's always going to be some sort of drama controversy, because when there's a lot of drama, that's what drives eyeballs to look at the news network. So the more drama that people can cause, whether it's true or not, they're going to get viewings, and that is the currency. So here, you're going to learn facts and fiction about real estate. Because if you're basing your business around a business model that's not real, that business is going to fail. So you need to be basing your basing your decisions on facts, right? So like getting your roots in the ground to grow from a place that is true so that you have the correct information moving forward. And there are those fake news networks. And at the end of this, it's going to be, my goal is to help you avoid the oh so common overwhelm of information that you're given as an agent, and to give you a quick and easy way to help you sift through some of the stuff that you might see out there. And the second thing, I'm going to show you how to get your leads through organic Facebook marketing to help you stand out from other agents without spending any money on ads. And
oh, really?
Yeah, I'll give you a little bit of direction around that. Obviously, we only have about an hour now, so we won't have a ton of time. And then at the very end, I'm going to ask all of you guys, or I'm going to share with you, all of you are going to walk away with 1 ticket for a special gift, and I'll share with you what that is at the end. Okay, and then after that, I'm going to go ahead and show you this recession-proof, detailed step-by-step map to help you walk away from this training knowing, at least having an idea around what to do. And the images are blurry on purpose. I don't want to give the secrets way too early. There's no sales pitch here. You're not going to be able to buy anything. Put your credit cards away if you think there's any sales pitch like that. This training really is just for informational purposes. And don't be that guy who's staring at his phone while you're on a webinar.
Oh,
excuse me. I mean, if you're going to show up and have your computer on, listen to information, take it all in, right? Don't be distracted and just get half of it. Give your full attention. Don't be that guy. Be this guy with the googly eyes. The googly eyes, watching the screen. Excuse me. Because this type of information could potentially change your life. And this is only going to be about 60 minutes, and then there's going to be maybe a little bit of Q&A at the end if I can rush through a lot of these things and get you all the information. Just to give you a little roadmap, here is what all the things that we're going to cover. We're going to cover 8 things, and then I'll give you your golden ticket at the end. The first one is, let's set the foundation. Now, this has probably been your journey so far. And if it has, I want you to type in #journey into the chat when you see the step that you've already done, or if you see some of the familiarity. Okay, your journey as a real estate agent. You thought to yourself, you know what? I want to be a real estate agent. So then you took the steps. You found that, hey, getting my license is not so difficult. So you go through, you study because you're a good student, and you pass the test. And then you get licensed. And once you are licensed, Yeah, right on, Don. Thanks. As soon as you get a license, you suddenly have all of these real estate companies. They're calling you, reaching out to you, and you suddenly feel like a celebrity. I never had this many people call me. They're actually wanting you to come work for them. And you're surprised and flattered by all of the cool things that they're telling you. And each one dazzles you with all of the income you'll make and all of the freedom you'll have. You wonder, how am I ever going to decide? So many interviews, so little time. And on each offer, and each one they offer to hire you. So you finally choose one and you are so excited. You tell all of your friends and family, I am a real estate agent now, totally licensed. I am with ABC Realty. You ask for their business, ready to make business happen because you're going to go the extra mile for your clients. The company gives you business cards, they give you your email address, they set you up with a lot of things like a CRM and training.
Or not.
And then step 4 is when it happens. Now it has been 3 months, 4 months, 6 months with
Yep.
no closings.
Yep.
And you feel like you should have had closings by now, right? I mean, you're doing the work, you're going into the office, or maybe you're working from home, but you're showing up every day like you should because you know how to have a job. So where are the results? You're doing what the company told you to do. The next step, you go online, you start Googling like crazy, looking at YouTube University, asking other people in your office. You may even have a mentor who has given you advice in the past that you don't really even know how to implement. You do a lot of self-learning, talk to people, you ask questions. Maybe you even have a mentor in your office, but you don't know what's missing. You feel like you have a thing that you want to find, but you don't know what that thing is. So you don't know what the right thing is to put into Google to search the thing to get the results. Has anybody ever felt like that? Like you're like, there's something I need to know, and I don't know exactly what it is. I don't know how to say it. You guys ever felt like that? Yeah, like craziness. I did that too. I was living on Google for a while. So to sum it up, your journey is you're running out of money, you're running out of patience, you're not even sure what to do anymore. I mean, you've tried it all. You've sent out letters, you've done pop buys, called your sphere, you've bought leads, you may have even you bought leads from several different places. You don't know what's stopping you or something is holding you back. You start procrastinating more and more. You start new projects instead of staying with real estate. You lose hope, and then you avoid working on the business, and you may even feel disappointed in yourself. So with all of that out there, let's talk a little bit about what the heck is happening out here in the market. Okay, there are 2 million agents in the USA on this journey who spend months getting to step 5 and not continuing. And the statistic is that 87% of agents are failing within the first 5 years. And it's only 5 years because as soon as you get your first licensure, they say, hey, get your renewal for the next one. And then you go ahead and get the renewal for the next one. And then, so then you're licensed for, 4 complete years. And then they say, hey, you're up for renewal again. And then at the 4th year, you haven't made any money. So you're like, you know what? I'm not going to continue this. I've been paying my brokerage $75 a month. I can't afford to be an agent anymore. So 87% do not renew their license, which leaves 13% that do renew their license. And out of 50 states, that comes down to about 52 real estate agents per state. I don't know about you, but I know that Florida has more than 50 counties in it. I know that 1 in 7 people in Florida is a licensed agent. So if you went to the shopping mall and you threw a bouncy ball, you would probably hit a real estate agent. That's how many agents there are in Florida. But 87% of them are not rocking it. They are not winning. Okay, I'm just going to pound this point home. And if this was a university, this is a picture of 100 people. 100%. So 100 people, 100%. If we went through and we showed you what 87% failure looked like, that's all of these people. That's
There's only 13
87%.
left.
Yeah. 13 faces over there. That's 13%. So out of all of the people who are licensed, 13%.
Why? Dad's going to SMY.
So I want you to right now say out loud, wherever you are, say, I am not the 87%. I am in the 13%. You know what? Change that. No, say, I am not an 87%er. Say that out loud right now. I am not an 87%er. That's not me. That's not me. And I know that you are here on this webinar because you are a winner. Okay, one more statistic. Imagine if this was medical surgery and you only had a 13% chance of survival and an 87% chance of dying. So I just went into Google and I said, what is the risk of this surgery? This is what popped up. Open heart surgery, liver transplants, and some other things. So I said, what's the survival rate of open heart surgery? 96 to 97% survival rate. The riskiest surgery is 96%. And we are only at 13% of agents. So why is this happening? What is going on with this mess? Like, honestly, can we all just collectively say, look, we're not going to be failures. We are going to find the right way to do stuff. And, let's have a chat about that. Because, and play along with me. I'm going to ask you one more question. And that question is, are you open-minded? And everybody better say yes to this, by the way. Working with agents, there's a lot of people that come into the real estate market who are skeptical of training and, aren't ready to take on a coach because, remember, by year 5 or by the 5th year, by step 5, people are not renewing. So while you are spending this hour with me, so be open-minded, be present. Pretend like I know everything and pretend like I can read your mind and tell fortunes, and pretend that you actually listen to me and that all of these things do come true. Pretend that right now. Just be open-minded. Don't waste the time to be cynical. And I'm saying because the stuff that I'm saying right now, it can actually change your business. And I want you to think about something. I want you to imagine from a year from now. So we're in June 2022. Think about in June 2023. You wake up in the morning, you go get your coffee, and then you finally decide to look at your phone. You've got people on there asking to meet with you. Hey, I've got an offer for your property. Hey, I want to meet with you to list my home. I saw your posts, marketing, content, face, videos, whatever, and I'd like to use you as our realtor. They're coming to you. And I mean this because this is really, truly possible. And even now, as I stand here, it's been over a year since I left the business. And honestly, I still have people reaching out to me. I still have people calling me, random people that I've kept in touch with over the years, sending me messages saying, hey, are you still in the business? I found my neighbor wants to sell his house and I recommended you. It sounds like a dream, but it really isn't if you position yourself correctly. Okay, second scenario is this. Imagine a year goes by and all of a sudden you wake up and instead of feeling anxious and feeling the stress and the worry about clients and money and closings, that you've got a pipeline of people that you can actually see. You can actually see them, the right clients, the closings, not just the leads, but true people coming to you. How different does that feel now with no more fear and no more stress? It's a year from now. Now you're working, stress is gone, happiness is here, and you're feeling it. Can you feel those feelings right now? Can you feel those? And you're not cynical, remember, you are on board, you're open-minded, and any doubt that you have that I'm some crazy person is gone. You know that what I'm talking about is for real, because you know what happens, because you've met people somewhere along your path that this is actually happening to. And so our energy right now, our mindset is, this can work for me. I can do this. And I share all of this with you, not to impress you, but I want to show you that you are in the right place. And I don't know where you are starting out right now. And there's going to be people in this training who may literally just be starting out from scratch. Let's talk about how you've been set up. Your confidence, your self-worth, your fear of failure, all stem from your beliefs from childhood. Now, those of you here last week may have heard this story, because this is a story that you have been told again and again. The story is that when you went to school, super happy, you got graded on your work, you came home with that A+. Your parents say, "You are so smart. Wow, good job, honey. We love you." Hugs. This is what you hear. This is what you think. I'm smart and my parents love me, therefore I love me. Okay? Same situation next week. This time you go to school, you take a test, and you got 7 out of 10. And you didn't fail it though, but you didn't get 100% like last time. Now remember, a week ago, what you heard is you did so well because you were smart. And if you take this home, what is the obvious conclusion to your second grade brain, or even your middle school brain, that you would come to? You hear, this isn't as good. You must not be as smart after all. No hugs. Your thought, I'm not smart and my parents love me less, therefore I love me less. Now, reimagine this scene. Like, you've come home from school, reimagine the scene that you got that same A+, now with one tiny change. Instead of your parents telling you, hey, you got an A+, that's amazing, you're so smart. Imagine if your dad or caregiver or whoever said to you, wow, you must have put in a lot of effort. One tiny change, you worked hard. Now your thoughts, now your thoughts are, I'm praised for my effort. When you bring home a C or a 7 out of 10 again, your thoughts are, it's not as good as last time when you worked hard. For the first one, your thoughts are, I put in effort. Your second one, thoughts are, I did not put in enough effort or work as hard. And I'm actually going to skip over the study since we have a lot of repeats here, and I want to stay on track with time. But basically, there was a study done with children who were given a test. One of them was praised on ability. One group was praised on their effort, very similar to that previous story. The only difference was that the ability praised kids thought that success meant that they were smart, failure meant they were deficient. The effort praised kids didn't think that the problems were any kind of reflection on their intelligence. Given a second test, the ability kids didn't want to do any more of the work on the difficult problems. The effort kids loved the harder problems. They said that those problems were the most fun, even though they didn't get them right. The researchers, okay, so then there was they gave a recount of the experience that they had on a piece of paper, and they wrote that their story to the next group of kids that the researcher said, we're going to do this study with them. Write some advice and write your score. When they wrote, the ability kids lied about their score. 40% of them lied about their score. So basically, we took ordinary children and turned them into liars by telling them that they were smart. My gosh, Now, when our parents told us we were smart or that we're talented, they did not do this with bad intentions or any ill feelings. They did it because they thought that was the right thing to do. However, when you do that, that instills a person with a fixed mindset instead of what the growth mindset is. And when we're in business, we really need to have a growth mindset. Actually, in life, we need to have a growth mindset, but especially running a business, we need to be in growth fixed mindset. So most of us are terrified of failure because we have been trained to think that that is a reflection of our self-worth. So a few things I want to tell you about. If you have sucked at lead generation in the past or have struggled to get leads, it is not your fault. If you're afraid that you will never be successful, you can put those fears to rest. Brokerage companies, real estate companies, mentorships, websites, and other lead subscription services are trying to make you dependent on them so they can make you feel as though you need them. But they're wrong. They don't own you. If you've ever felt sabotaged because there has been zero lead generation training provided to you whatsoever, you are absolutely right. You have been wronged, and all of that ends today. Okay, so let's talk a little bit. We're going to do a quick preview of CAT because you guys, I think everybody, I have met almost everybody here before. Typical American family. My parents are together. They're still together. I got a music degree, played out my parents' dream by getting a solid job, worked as a music teacher for, I don't know, 10 years. And I actually remember the very first paycheck I got. It was $2,000. Oh my gosh, I just about lost it because I had never had so much money. 22 years old, I got handed $2,000 for just going to school. That's what I thought, because I mean, I was a teacher, but this was my first time ever getting paid. I thought I was going to be rich. And then I paid $1,200 in rent and then $300 to the car, bought gas and groceries, and then I was down to about $300 by the end of the month. I even remember one of the veteran teachers sat me down and said, "Kat, get out of teaching while you still can, while you're young. You have the rest of your life in front of you." And I thought, well, I just finished my college. I just spent 5 years getting here. I said, well, I might need to. And so that thing was always rung in my mind. So I actually got out of town, went over to Dubai. I ran a music school over there. I was on a cycling team, which is where I met Eirik. And Eirik basically told me about an investment he made, which was $83,000. Holy shit, I was like, what? In real estate? That's when I left teaching and got into running my own business. This is what I did in Dubai. I ran a property management business so that I could be my own boss, make more money than I could as a teacher. I had no network, no prior skills, no experience. Is anybody else in that situation when you started your real estate career? Hashtag me too, or hashtag, yeah, hashtag no experience, right? That was totally what was going on for me. I was like, I don't even know how to run a business. Well, I ended up coming back to the States, and this is when I started the Catapult business. But you know what? Through everything, my supporters have always been my family. And I don't say this lightly, that my family has always been by me to give me housing or feed me dinner, give me a car to drive, because I did bounce around a lot, being overseas for 8 years. So almost a decade I was overseas. They are the ones, they've given me money, helped me buy plane tickets, that even in adversity, you really find out who the true people are in your life. They may be friends, they may be family. And so the best thing about going through a crisis, the best thing about getting to rock bottom is finding out who is going to be there to support you in your crisis, in your time of need. Because whether you've lost your job or know someone that has, businesses shut down, they've lost their income, even you might be going through stress and overwhelm and wondering who you can depend on. And so when things are good, everybody comes over and is your friend. But when things get dire, who are the people that stick by you? So these guys are my why. This is my brother and my sister-in-law and their 3 kids, and those are my parents. So these guys are my why. My parents are my why. My brother is my why. Yeah. So that's a little bit about me. You know what, we're gonna skip that one. Whoops. So the first real secret that you need to know is that leads are not the problem. They are easy to get, and I'm gonna show you how. And I learned this because when I first moved back to the States, I joined a real estate company, and it was the one that my sister-in-law was in too. We were actually on the same one. They said, call your sphere, buy leads, market yourself, give pop-outs, cards each day, trainings, letters, all this stuff. I even got certified in new construction. And I had so many credentials. I had no idea where to get the people though. I did, these types of bandit signs. Give me 2 thumbs up if you've seen these on the sides of the road. These guys though, yeah, 2 thumbs up. Have you seen these bandit signs like, we buy houses, I buy houses? Yeah, that was me. I did that. Looking for people who were in distressed situations. I even worked with some home buyer guys who had leads because I thought, yes, this is the answer to my question. I just need leads. These guys are going to give me leads. They promised they would teach me everything I needed to know, but they did not. They gave me tons of leads and great conversations. I made friends, but I still couldn't convert them. And I'm proof that you don't, even being an extrovert, you are not able to, it doesn't qualify you to convert leads. What you really need is a sales cycle. There is no, I saw a quote the other day, it was awesome. No amount of leads will fix a broken sales process. If you collect the leads, you have to be able to connect to them, then to convert them, then to conduct the business, and then to celebrate. And if you guys have had tons of training, like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, all of your training should fit into one of these 5 categories. So if you have training that you don't know, you're like, well, I know all about contracts. Contracts would go into conducting the business. So what we do is we actually help you develop out each one of your steps in the sales cycle. So we'll show you how to collect leads. Then we'll show you the best way to connect with them. Sometimes it's on Facebook, sometimes it is by texting, sometimes it's by calling, sometimes it's by a letter, etc. So it really depends on the source of the lead. We talked to you about converting those and then conducting the business and then keeping them in the family, celebrating them, client events, etc. So all of those pieces are the things that you need to keep your business running. Okay, you don't need leads, you need the sales cycle. And I basically just went through those. So collect the information. You can take a screenshot of this if you want. Connect to the people, convert them, conduct the business. And I one of the students I worked with was Rose, and she and I were talking about leads, and I said, hey, you're really focused on leads. I said, well, you already know a ton of people. What we need to do is focus on connecting with them and converting them. So what we did, we got on a strategy call. We mapped out a couple of things to get her to move forward with what she was already doing. And she sent me this message and she said, oh my gosh, leads are not everything. And I gave her a couple of strategies. The first week she had appointments set up. She said, your program works. even working with Cindy, Cindy had all of these leads coming in from her brokerage. She was struggling to call them and wanted to know what to say to them. She was actually in a situation where her husband had just passed away, and she wanted to actually be the breadwinner in the family and learn real estate. She was feeling pretty overwhelmed. She got on a strategy session with me, and the strategy session helped map out the conversation structure that she needed to use, map out the flow of how she can keep in touch with those leads that her brokerage was already giving her. So after working together, and she even had a mentor in her brokerage who wasn't helping her. She didn't know what questions to ask. She's like, yeah, I have this person, but what should I ask them for advice? And so we worked together. She was able to get 3 transactions. Let's see if I can make it a little bit bigger. 3 transactions in her first 3 months of working with me. So and the biggest thing is that she had boosted confidence. That was the biggest thing that she brought home, was a huge amount of confidence. Now we're going to talk about secret number 2. This is the real estate companies that are in the sales business, not in the education business. If you look at the way that the money flows, now I don't have slides for this one, but if you look at the way that money flows in a real estate business, when it goes from the agent to the company, you realize that the real estate company is not in the education business or in the hiring business. They are in the sales business, because the only way that the brokerage makes money is through the monthly fee of the agents, through cutting the transactions of the agent. And how much do they give you? Well, they give the agents things to keep you hooked in, like an email address that says at abcrealty.com. So when you give out your email address, AKA all of the business cards they give you, also with their office phone number, that you're actually advertising for them. And so they are not having to advertise themselves because the agents are doing that for them. And then for the agents, the companies are actually not in the education business. They are in the sales business, and they are excellent sales entities. That's why they call it hiring you. But in fact, the agent is hiring the company, because the company is the product and the agent is the buyer. And that is something that nobody is talking about, because people who are agents have been brainwashed to think that, oh, we're hiring you, oh, we're dazzling you with all of these cool things. But in fact, those companies cannot survive without the agents. So I want to share a story with you about Chris, who was, wait, did I share the right one? Share a story with you about Chris, who actually came to me when I gave a presentation at his real estate office. And he said, you know, Kat, I really need help with my lead generation. And he's like, I don't know what to do. And so we talked about how he can use the people who he is already in contact. We gave him a few conversation structures about how, you know, because he was going to the gym. He actually worked on a military base that he wanted to, he didn't want to cold call. He didn't want to text. He was not a technology kind of guy. He just wanted to talk to the people he was already in contact with in real life. So we came up with a couple of strategies that he could do for himself. And when he started working with me, he said, wow, I didn't realize how easy it could be to have a strategy that works for my style. Because he was under the impression that he was not going to be successful, or he wasn't going to get any business because his previous deals had only been with his brother. So when he started working with me, he felt a lot more calm. And all of this is related to the fact that his real estate company didn't give him any real direction on what to do with his business, on how to even talk to the people that he was already in contact with, give them a couple of hooks to get them interested or know that he was the agent. Now, the third secret is actually finding your specialty to create your own market. Now, this is, yeah, Bernie, thanks. Thanks for that. Yeah, totally understand that. Now, this is the secret to creating your market. Nobody is talking about this, by the way. You know, these are things that are in other areas of life, but people don't talk about it for real estate. And again, I'm not sure why. Let's just look at a few of the medical fields, right? So if you are a general practitioner, you might say like, okay, this is the person you go to for a runny nose, or you might send your kids to, right? They get paid the least out of any physician on planet Earth. It's like most real estate agents are like general practitioners. Now, when you have the specialists like the orthopedic surgeon, the brain surgeons, the physicians, these guys are super specialized. These are the doctors that make all of the money in the industry. So that's an example of the medical field, right? So let's look at attorneys. The general attorney, I help anyone and everyone. Now, the general attorney that does anything that comes their way makes the lowest amount of money of any of the attorneys out there. Whereas the attorneys that specialize in criminal cases, divorce, probate, car accidents, you know, anything else like that, you get the idea, that they are the ones that can charge more. They get that specialization from. Have you guys ever heard the term, the riches are in the niches? Have you guys heard that? Have you heard riches are in the niches? Yay or nay? Yeah, yeah. And I say niche because that's the proper French way, but niche is the way most Americans say it, and it kind of rhymes with my last name, so that's cool. And so these are actually this is really where the gold is. Whoops, I skipped too far. Anyway, so real estate agents, I help anyone and everyone. And so most agents are the general practitioner, and most agents are not rocking it out in the business. Let me give you a couple of examples of what I'm talking about in the real estate world. How many agents do you know, maybe you're friends with, or maybe in your brokerage, or yourself, that either, you know, specialize in divorce, for instance? Probably not very many. And how many agents do you know that specialize in working with seniors who are transitioning into assisted living? How many of you know agents who are specialized in the probate process? Right, these are just a couple of great niches for you to really go out there and focus on. Because let me paint you a picture about specialties and what goes into that. We'll just talk about divorce for a minute. Let's pretend that you were the absolute go-to authority in your market around divorce. You're the divorce niche. You're the divorce agent, the agent that knows the process. You are the person to go to. All of your content was branded. All of your social media was branded. Your community knows it. All of your content is solving problems. You have all the studies, the statistics. You know that process inside and out and all the laws around it. You know when the laws are being updated, what is normal, and you know the common pitfalls that people fall into. And divorce attorneys are now referring you business. Let them pound the streets instead of you doing it. Because here's why an agent doesn't niche down. Because I mean, you can't just be everything for everybody, right? You can't just be a people pleaser. You have to really focus in on your thing. And a lot of agents will think that like with a scarcity mindset, and they will be afraid to actually niche down. And here's the reality. you're still going to do all of the other business. And what I'm doing is I'm talking about becoming an expert authority on one topic in your market around one specific niche that you're known for. Right? So if we go back to the divorce example, all of those things I just mentioned were still true. Here's what would occur. Divorce attorneys would then refer you the business of all the thousands of people in your market every single day, every month, every week, every year that are getting divorced. And they would hire you because you are the expert. You know at what point in the divorce process this needs to happen, ownership, details, the best divorce attorneys, and you know that situation better than anyone else in your market, right? Do you see the power of focusing on just one thing and getting to know that so well? Because this is the target part of the marketplace. This allows you to build a very successful practice as a real estate agent, right? There's a lot of niches out there that you can do, but what is your superpower going to be? What are the people going to think of you in real estate for when they think about, oh, I need to get we're getting a divorce. Oh, who do I know who's a divorced real estate agent? Okay. Most people are not saying anything different on their social media page. Most people are not going out there solving problems or showing that they have the knowledge to solve problems. So if you can niche down, your business will blow up. I mean, it will just explode. It will catapult. And so when we go on your strategy session, you're going to find that when you choose a niche, when you figure out what your messaging is, and you start getting those specific buttons and you're pushing the buttons on your people, that they're going to actually reach out to you because they're going to realize you are the one that they need. And you'll be able to position yourself with divorce attorneys, so they're sending you inbound leads. What are we going to do about all of this information that we have just heard? That Catapult is going to show you how to do and overcome all of these things. This is the recession-proof, detailed step-by-step lead generation map. I'm going to walk you through it real quick. When we go through this, now these images are not blurry. We start with branding. And most of you have worked with me before to talk about a little bit of with FSBOs. And then we actually create content for them. 7 steps to sell your house on your own. The strategy to contact them is actually through text messages. Then we convert them by building a relationship. Then we can conduct the business, help them in their specific way, overcoming their objection. Because you have studied FSBOs, you know their expertise. As an elementary teacher, I like visuals and models and step-by-step processes and things that just make it super simple. So when we have a step-by-step process, it makes things ultra easy for you. So you could do it the hard way with 10,000 different combinations of a way to make your business successful. And you can keep checking on YouTube University and going through all of those things, trying to figure it out on your own, or you can let me show you the easy way. We talked a little bit about being stuck, about being overwhelmed, and being on step 4, where now it's been months since you've had the last closing or any closings, and you start to feel like, hey, I really need to do something now. So if you want to get from stuck and overwhelmed up to your goal of freedom, to get that independence that you've been looking for, this is your chance. And the question you always need to ask yourself is, what proven strategy will you use to close the gap? What makes sense? Because if you are not getting up there, if you are not climbing that ladder right now, if you're not climbing up the incline, then you're losing time. you are wasting more months, more days, letting those people slip by, because every day you are not growing and expanding as a person. Time is passing you by, and yourself, your body, you're aging like money in the bank is with inflation. Time will keep on passing, whether you move forward or not. So what's proven strategy will you use to close the gap? Take your next step towards a sustainable online business. And this is for people who want to make a change. Your ticket is to book a complimentary, customized 45-minute strategy session with me. And I'm actually working with a couple of you already. I know Dimple has, we moved your appointment over to tomorrow. And Don, I'll be meeting with you right after this. And for those of you who have not booked a strategy session with me, who have not spoken one-on-one with me, I encourage you to do so. And if you are watching this in replay format, I want you to do #replay in the comments below. And you're also invited to book a strategy session. If you are anywhere near stuck, overwhelmed, not sure where to go from here, I want you to book a strategy session. Let's get you out of the stuck. Okay, with those 3 secrets, what were some of the questions or ahas that you had watching that presentation? I saw some people taking notes. I want to know what you were writing down.
I was writing down to find my niche.
Oh, I love it. Cool. Yep, Bernie, I see your mouth moving, but you are not.
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
I wrote all kinds of notes because this is my first session, very first. I've been here for 6 months and I haven't done a single transaction. You opened my eyes about the ad for the brokerage where I'm doing everything for them. And you opened my eyes a lot today, big time. And I need to get to that next level and figure out where I need to go.
Are you going to be booking a
Yep.
strategy session?
Yes.
Awesome. Good deal. Yeah.
I just got to figure out my schedule around my doctor's appointments next week.
Okay. Excellent. So a lot of ahas around what the companies or the brokerages are doing.
Yes. Most definitely.
What else?
Well, I'm with a company where there's 4 of us, the broker, her daughter's the manager, and there's 2 of us agents. The other agent got trained for a year before she got her license. And the broker and her daughter, they've done 76 transactions in the last 2 years. And myself and the other girl have done hardly anything. Yeah. And watching this today, it really opened my eyes to the whole thing. I'm like, wow. But now the broker and I are going to be working together on a transaction next month, where she's going to split the whole thing with me, but she's going to take me from beginning to end, so I see the whole entire transaction, everything about it. But it was because I was going to quit.
How many years into real estate licensure are you?
6 months. I got my license in November. Yeah, so
Okay.
put it this way, it'll be 7 months in 2 weeks, I'll have my license for 7 months with no transactions.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
I've
I see
done-
so much.
As a matter of fact, I've done a lot of different things where I mail out 5 letters every single day. And I'll show you, hold on.
That's okay. I don't need to see. For what purpose do you send out 5 letters a day?
What?
For what purpose?
I'm hoping, well, what I do is I mail them out and a week later I call them and I leave a message, but I haven't got any calls back. Like I mail them out, I wait 3 days and then I call back hoping I'm going to get an answer, but no one ever picks up the phone ever.
Okay.
And I've only been doing that for a month. So I was hoping maybe I'd get someone of them will pick up the phone, but that hasn't worked either.
How
I
often
don't
do
know
you?
if I'm going about it the wrong way. but I don't have any training, so I'm doing this all by myself.
Yeah, I gotcha. I gotcha. Yeah, book your call and let's see if we can at least get you some essence of a strategy, even if you keep on doing what you're currently doing. But we can,
Maybe give me a little guidance. Maybe I'm
Right
doing
on.
the right, I'm doing something, but maybe I'm not doing the right thing in the right steps.
Yeah, we'll
That's what
take
I'm,
a look at kind of where you are, what your money situation is, how much money you want to spend on marketing versus time versus money, that sort of thing. And we'll take a
yeah,
look
I've
at.
put a lot, I've spent a lot of money already.
Gotcha.
I-
Gotcha. Well, we can only look moving forward, so we'll take a look at that snapshot.
Right,
Okay.
and I'll go through all that stuff with you.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. So when you get your call book, just send me a message on Facebook and let me know when it is. Let me know when
Yes,
you
and
booked.
I am so glad I did this class. Thank you so much.
I'm so glad you were able to make it on too. Yay, Bernie.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
I couldn't stream it into Facebook for whatever reason.
Oh, I don't know what happened. I was, I was trying and trying. I'm so glad we were able to connect.
Yeah.
Now, do you do this every Wednesday?
I'm going to start doing it every Wednesday because I talk to so many people and lots of people every week, and I'm doing my own research. I'm in touch with other agents and coaches in this space. So I'm always learning things. So I'm going to start doing one of these every Wednesday. It's, obviously my life structure is going to be a lot of the same. And some of them, I'll just be adding in new nuggets as I
No.
learn them.
My other question is, if you can't make it to a class, do you do a replay so we can watch it at another time?
I will have replays available. You might have
Okay.
to send me a link. I'm going to leave them available just for 1 week and then take it down and then put the new one up. That's my
Okay.
plan. That's my
I'm
plan.
gonna try, well, Wednesdays, I'm gonna try to schedule it, block it on my calendar, so I'm here for the Wednesday, classes.
That'd be fantastic. Well, I'd love
Awesome.
to have you. What about Dimple, Dawn, or Carl? Did you hear anything new that you were thinking about today?
I like your idea about the niche, having a specific niche, because I think we all go out and just, we're so hungry for business. It's like, I'll take everybody, just bring them on. And we never think about really focusing on one niche. So
Yeah.
definitely I need to think of what's going to work in my area. Figure that out.
Gotcha. Yeah, up in Virginia. So Haymarket. Now I grew up. I went from young adult to proper adult in Northern Virginia, and I'm trying to think of Haymarket. I spent 7 years there. Haymarket is out past Manassas, where
Yes.
Carl is, right out further into horse country.
66,
almost.
down 66.
Okay, cool. And so yeah, Haymarket. I think there's a lot of horse farms out there, aren't there?
If you go down to like Marshall, Middleburg area, we're kind of in between. We're more suburban.
Okay.
Some of it.
Yeah,
there was somebody here in Florida who was one of the agents on our, we have 4 agents on our team. One of the agents was for like one random reason, he got 7 different listings with horse farms. And he's like, well, I guess I'm the horse farm specialist or the horse stable specialist. And he was like, oh, I need to find a place to store some horses. So he got really good at knowing all that. So that was like, that's a good niche, because people who sell a horse farm and are moving need to put the horses somewhere, right? And that would be another thing that you would need to know. Anyway, that's just an idea, but
I did one last year on a horse farm.
Mhm.
They were looking for a place and actually ended up being in Haymarket, just a little bit out west.
Yeah. I think those would be cool. Or like a dog cat. No, I don't know. I was just thinking about other things that we had on our team. We had somebody who was moving to Hawaii and needed to ship 7 dogs. 7
wow.
dogs to Hawaii.
Hmm.
It was the weirdest whole transaction. They were an interesting family. And it was just, watching them, because I was just the lead generator. I got to watch the show of what was going. He was like, what? I need a place to put 7 dogs for a week. And all of these different things. I'm like, storing animals is something I never would have thought of as being like, that's not why you got into real estate, but suddenly you need that.
That's definitely big business here between boarding and training. I do know a lot of people that, in fact, a good friend of my husband's, he's a trainer, but they're always looking for boarding places too.
Yeah,
Definitely.
interesting. Bye.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things here in Haymarket. We're so close to DC. We do get a lot of the military and federal government. So I do tend to do a lot of stuff with the federal government.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Awesome. Cool. So the niche was the big thing you got out of the
Hmm.
show.
Right.
Oh, cool. What about you, Carl?
I guess one of the things I liked was when you're talking about the grade school kids and the A plus versus the C plus, made me think of a video I saw about video game kids. They don't play the game once, lose, and then throw it away and go, I'm never doing that again. They keep playing, knowing that the effort is going to be what gets them there, not, first time, you're not going to get, well, I mean, you could, but $2 million listing and, full 6% or 8% and, make tons of money. But, if you keep working, you'll eventually get, to where you're going, keep
Right. I like
putting in the
that.
effort. Yeah.
That's a good metaphor or a good story to tell about effort. I'm always looking for stories that illustrate a fact, because you guys know when you tell stories, that's when people understand your material, right? Like, so if I just say, kids that say this, or kids that you praise for ability will feel this way, kids that praise for effort this way. But when you can illustrate it with a story, you're like, oh my gosh, yes, I really understand it now.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Dawn, I know we'll be meeting in a few, but what were some of your takeaways?
Like I said, the niche. And yeah, I like the story thing, going back to what you've been told. It's kind of about your sorry.
You made me want to drink too.
It goes about your self-talk in your brain. And this business can really beat the living crap out of you. So your self-talk can get a little negative.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, I just got a beating over the weekend. So I'm like,
Oh, congratulations.
No, not a good beating, a bad beating.
Well, I mean, you get to be tougher.
No. No, I get to be angrier.
Don't give him that power. Don't give him that power. You got
Really?
it.
Okay.
Take that power back. Don't let them control your emotions. These are your emotions.
It's true. That's very right.
If
It's
they're
very true.
angry with you, that's their problem.
No, my beating was I had a guy walk 5 days before closing. He was supposed to close today. And he couldn't give me a good enough reason to walk.
Contract.
Yeah, sounds like, well, and again, I think that it's, business is not a thing that we can always absorb the emotion of, right? When we are living at cause, or like that happened, so we decide the story that we tell ourselves about what it means. And if that story is, he walked away, he wasn't ready, something is going on with him, it has not to do with you. And if you are feeling something from it, it's the story that you're telling. So
It's that mind talk.
you can change the story to be empowering and be like, thank goodness. Because if they had forced that transaction, who knows, that money may have bought you a car that you would have died in. I mean, I'm thinking of like something that you're thankful for that didn't happen.
Or he
That's a
sues
little
you- He
negative.
sues you later because the HVAC blows up or.
You know what? That's a better example. But I'm thinking that there was a reason that it didn't happen. And so whatever happens, it's outside of your body. Your brain has never seen light. Your brain only knows what emotions to give your body to feel from the information that you decide that it gets. So whatever happens out here, the only emotions I feel are what I tell my brain to feel. Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
Subjective.
Yeah. So a lot of time, we got to wrap up here because it's 2:45 an hour. Just a little break. When I was living overseas, sometimes life got hard. So what I would do, it sounds silly, whenever I was having a hard time, I'd put on Christmas music because it would remind me of being safe at home with my family. And there was a lot of times running a business in the Middle East by myself as a woman where I wasn't on top of my game and I wasn't always feeling strong. So I said, you know what? I just need a break. Let me just go back, be back in Virginia with my parents as a child. And when I do that, my brain doesn't know any different. My brain is still in the dark. It doesn't know anything other than what my senses, what story I'm telling it. So we can actually change our inner environment regardless of the outer environment with the stories that we tell ourselves.
I like that. Good advice.
When I was in Chicago, used to be really cold in February. We would have a beach party in my apartment. We'd get a bucket of sand and turn up the heat to 85 or something, and tell everybody to wear shorts and drink fruity drinks.
Awesome. Well, I am going to wrap up here. I love it. I love creating these scenes inside of reality. It's like Inception. Okay. Awesome, you guys. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. I will talk to you guys. I will talk to you soon, Dawn. And I will see you tomorrow, Dimple. And Carl, you know what to do. I will talk to you later. Okay. Bye.
Thank you.
You.